Have you noticed how she glows when you chase her but fades the second you stop? Or how she texts only when she's lonely but disappears when life gets exciting? Those aren't quirks. Those are patterns. Patterns that show she doesn't want you. She wants the power your attention gives her. Today, I'm exposing the 8 red flags that reveal she's using you for her ego. If even a few of these sound familiar, it's not a relationship. It's a trap. And the sooner you see it, the sooner you can escape. Before you move forward, stop and be honest with yourself. Do you feel like a man in control or a man waiting to be chosen? Does she make you stronger or does she leave you weaker every time? If you don't like the answer, it's because you're already trapped in a dynamic that steals more from you than it gives. Facing that truth is the first step to reclaiming control. If you're ready to face it, subscribe and hit like right now and share in the comments. When you look at your situation honestly, are you being valued or are you being used? Because what comes next will draw the line clearly, and once you see it, you'll never tolerate less again. Number 1, she loves the chase but hates the catch. Some women are addicted to the thrill of being pursued, not the man who is pursuing them. They crave the attention, the energy, the endless texts and calls, the dinners planned, the flowers sent, but only while the game is still alive. The moment you slow down, the moment you stop pouring everything into the chase and expect her to meet you halfway, the light in her eyes goes dim. What you thought was attraction was never really about you. It was about the high she got from being wanted. Think about it. When you were blowing up her phone, she was smiling, engaging, excited. But the second you paused, waiting for her to take initiative, the silence stretched. She didn't step forward. She stepped back. That is not what a woman in love does. A woman who truly values you doesn't just feed on your pursuit. She builds with you. She invests. She shows up. Here's the trap most men fall into. When she starts to pull away, you panic. You assume you need to try harder, chase faster, double the effort. You believe it's a test you have to win. But the harder you run, the less she respects you because you've just confirmed that her value is higher than yours. You've proven that she can withdraw, and you'll keep supplying the chase. A genuine relationship is built on partnership, not pursuit. It's 2 people moving toward each other, not one sprinting while the other stands still. If she only shines when you're chasing and fades the second you pause, it's not love. It's a one-sided race. And the sooner you recognize it, the sooner you can stop running and save your dignity. Number 2, she flirts but never commits. This is one of the most dangerous traps because it keeps you hooked longer than you should ever stay. She knows exactly how to give you just enough to keep your hopes alive, but never enough to move the relationship forward. She'll call you babe, send playful emojis, maybe brush her hand against your arm when you're together. She'll throw sparks, little breadcrumbs designed to ignite your imagination, and you take the bait, thinking these moments mean she's warming up, that she's about to let you in. But every time you try to take it further, when you ask her out on a serious date, when you try to have a real conversation about where this is going, when you make a move that signals you're ready for more, she pumps the brakes. Suddenly, she's not ready. Suddenly, she just wants to keep things chill. And suddenly, you're confused because she gave you the signals that encouraged you to move forward only to shut the door in your face. Here's the ugly truth. She isn't confused. You are. She knows exactly what she's doing. Flirtation is her currency, and you're the one paying the price. The mistake men make is thinking patience will change her. They believe that if they're more romantic, more persistent, more understanding, she'll finally give in. But all that patience does is keep you circling the same dead end. If a woman is truly interested, she doesn't dangle affection like a prize in a carnival game. She steps forward. She accepts your invitation to build something real. If instead she throws out sparks but blocks any attempt to move closer, you're not dealing with interest. You're dealing with a tease who thrives on the chase itself. Don't keep running in circles chasing an illusion, because the longer you chase, the more power she has and the less respect you'll ever get. Number 3, you feel drained, not valued. At the end of the day, the biggest red flag isn't what she says or how she acts in the moment. It's how you feel once you walk away. A healthy connection should leave you feeling stronger, lighter, more confident. You should leave her presence energized, not exhausted. But when a woman is using you for her ego, you'll notice the opposite effect. She empties you out. Picture this. You plan a night out, pay for dinner, give her your best energy. You listen to her talk, you compliment her, you make her laugh. On the surface, everything seems fine. But when you finally head home, there's no sense of fulfillment, no satisfaction. Instead, you feel a heavy emptiness. You've given more than you got, and the imbalance gnaws at you. That feeling isn't paranoia. It's your instincts trying to tell you the truth. Men often ignore that gut check. They tell themselves they're overthinking or that she'll come around if they just wait. But feelings don't lie. If you're constantly questioning where you stand, if you're anxious about whether she really cares, if you're frustrated because nothing you do ever seems enough, that's your body waving a red flag, even if your mind refuses to see it. The harsh reality is this: if you walk away from her feeling smaller, less certain, less respected, you're not in a relationship. You're in an energy exchange where you're the donor and she's the collector. A woman who values you will build you up even in small ways. She'll make you feel steadier, not shakier. She'll leave you with peace, not turmoil. So pay attention to your own reflection after the interaction. Do you feel like a man standing taller? Or do you feel like someone who just poured everything out and got nothing back? If it's the latter, you're not being loved. You're being drained, and the longer you stay, the more of yourself you'll lose. Number 4, she craves validation, not connection. Some women aren't looking to build a bond. They're looking to feed their ego with them. Every interaction feels like a performance, where you're the audience and she's the star. You'll notice how the spotlight always has to be on her. She asks, "Do you think I look good in this?" Or, "Tell me why you like me again." She'll light up when you shower her with praise. But when the focus shifts to you, your goals, your struggles, your wins, her energy flatlines. Imagine this scene. You're sharing something important. Maybe a recent success at work or a personal challenge. You're looking for a moment of connection, for her to care, to lean in. But instead, her response is a distracted, "Oh, that's nice," before she flips the conversation back to herself. It's a one-way street. You're giving, she's taking. You're admiring, she's collecting. Here's where most men get it wrong. They think if they just give her more compliments, more reassurance, more effort, eventually she'll reciprocate. But that's the illusion. A woman who thrives on validation doesn't suddenly wake up wanting connection. She's not looking to meet you halfway. She's looking to refill her self-esteem every time it dips. A genuine woman, the kind worth your time, will not only want to be admired, she'll admire you too. She'll ask questions that matter. She'll remember details you share. She'll show interest in who you are beneath the surface. That's what connection feels like. Two people feeding each other, not one constantly draining the other's supply. So the question is, does she only glow when the conversation is about her? Or does she shine when she's learning about you? If all she wants is applause, you're not her partner. You're her audience, and no man with self-respect should keep paying for a ticket to a show that was never meant to include him. Number 5. She only reaches out when she's bored. This is a classic sign of being used for her ego. When her life is busy, exciting, or filled with the people she truly values, you barely exist. But the moment her calendar clears, when the friends cancel plans or her social feed goes quiet, suddenly you're her favorite person again. Not because she misses you, not because she values your presence, but because she needs something to fill the silence. Picture this. She doesn't text you for an entire week. You convince yourself she's busy, that she'll reach out when she has time. Then late one night, your phone lights up with a simple, "Hey." No context, no plan, just a casual ping to see if you'll jump. And of course, you feel flattered. You think it means she's thinking about you. But the truth, she's not thinking about you at all. She's thinking about herself. You're not her priority. You're her entertainment option when there's nothing better to do. The mistake most men make is rewarding this behavior. You respond instantly, eager, available. You rearrange your night just to give her attention. What you don't realize is that every time you do this, you teach her that you'll always be there, ready to play the role of distraction. And the more you reward it, the more she'll keep using you this way. A woman who truly values you doesn't contact you only when she's restless. She reaches out because she wants to connect, to plan something meaningful, to share her world with you. That's the difference between interest and convenience. So ask yourself, does she ever call you ahead of time to set up a date? Or do you only hear from her when she's idle? If she only remembers you when boredom hits, you're not her man, you're her filler. And the longer you accept that role, the more invisible you become when her life gets full again. Number 6, she never makes time for you. Time is the most honest currency in any relationship. A woman may say she likes you. She may send you texts here and there. But if she never makes space in her life to actually see you, the truth is clear. You are not a priority. When a woman values you, she will carve out time no matter how busy her schedule looks. When she doesn't, there will always be an excuse, always something more important than you. Imagine this. You're constantly rearranging your calendar to fit hers. You cancel plans, shift your work schedule, bend yourself in half just to secure a sliver of her time. Yet when you ask her to make the same effort, suddenly she's swamped with brunches, TikTok binges, Netflix marathons, or just too tired. Somehow she has unlimited hours for distractions, but none for you. That imbalance speaks louder than any word she could say. The mistake most men make is trying harder in response. You send more messages, offer more flexibility, practically beg for her attention. But the more available you make yourself, the less she values it. Because here's the reality. When you prove you'll always adjust for her, she learns she never has to adjust for you. A woman who truly wants you will never risk losing you to busyness. She'll find ways, even small ones, to show that your presence matters. She'll initiate, she'll compromise, she'll prove with her actions that you're more than a backup option. So ask yourself honestly, are you always chasing her calendar while she never bends for yours? If the answer is yes, then stop fooling yourself. She's not too busy. She's just not invested. And if you keep accepting that imbalance, you're teaching her that your time has no value. The truth is simple. A man who respects himself will never beg to be squeezed into someone else's leftover hours. Number 7, she keeps you around but talks to other guys. This one stings because it exposes the real game. She wants your loyalty, your attention, your energy, but she won't give the same in return. Instead, she keeps you hooked while keeping her options wide open. She'll remind you that you're not exclusive, yet she still expects you to drop everything the moment she calls. That's not fairness. That's control. Picture this. You're on standby, always ready to answer her texts or pick up the phone. But while you're waiting, she's posting thirst traps on social media, replying to a lineup of thirsty DMs, or going out with male friends who always seem a little too interested. And when you question it, she brushes it off. We're not official, she says. You're overreacting. Meanwhile, if you so much as glance at another woman, she'll get defensive, jealous, even controlling. That's not a relationship. That's a double standard designed to keep her in power. Here's where most men fool themselves. They convince themselves they're still the main guy. They say things like, sure, she talks to others, but she spends more time with me. That's not proof of value. That's ego trying to protect you from the truth. Because if she's entertaining multiple men while demanding your exclusivity, you're not her first choice. You're her safety net. A woman who truly respects you makes her intentions clear. She doesn't keep you guessing while she shops around. She chooses you and shows it, not just with words, but with action and consistency. Anything less is manipulation. So stop competing for a spot you never signed up for. If she's keeping you on the bench while she plays the field, understand this. You're not her priority, you're her backup plan. And no man with dignity should ever settle for being someone's insurance policy. Number 8, she only shows up when she needs something. This is one of the clearest signs you're not her partner, you're her utility. Pay attention to the pattern. She disappears when life is good. When she's surrounded by excitement, friends, or the man she truly desires. But the moment she runs into trouble, suddenly you're her lifeline. Her car breaks down. She's short on cash. She needs advice. Or she simply wants someone to dump her emotional baggage on, and there you are, picking up the pieces. Picture this. She hasn't checked in on you for weeks. No, how are you? No effort to share in your highs or support you in your lows. But when her world gets heavy, she knows exactly which number to call. And every time you answer, you reinforce the role she's given you. Not as her man, but as her problem solver. The dangerous illusion here is that many men confuse this with intimacy. They think she trusts me enough to lean on me. That must mean I matter. But trust built on convenience isn't intimacy. It's extraction. She relies on you because it's easy, not because she's invested. A woman who cares about you is present for both your victories and your struggles. She doesn't just take when she's in need, she gives when you need her too. Ask yourself, does she ever show up simply to celebrate you, to encourage you, to add to your life without asking for anything in return? If the answer is no, you're not in a relationship. You're in a transaction. And every time you rush to fix her problems, you're signing up for a role no self-respecting man should ever accept. The truth is brutal but simple. If her presence in your life is conditional on what you can provide, you're not her partner. You're her emergency hotline. And the longer you stay in that role, the more you'll forget that you were meant to be treated as a man, not a tool. So here's the bottom line. If even half of these red flags ring true in your life, you're not in a relationship. You're in a performance where she is the star and you're just the supporting cast. You're not being chosen. You're being used. And the longer you play along, the more of yourself you lose. Think carefully. Every time you ignore these signs, you're trading your dignity for scraps of attention. Every time you convince yourself she'll change, you're handing her more power while stripping your own away. A man who respects himself does not settle for breadcrumbs, does not beg for time, does not compete for a place he never agreed to fight for. He knows when to step away because he understands that walking away is not losing. It's reclaiming control. Ask yourself this. How much longer will you allow yourself to be drained, sidelined, or treated as an option? At some point, you have to decide that your energy, your time, and your value are too important to be wasted on someone who only feeds her ego with your devotion. If this video hit home, then it's time to act. Subscribe, so you never miss the kind of truth that most men will never hear. Like this video if you know it's time to wake up. Share it with another man who needs to recognize the same patterns, and drop a comment if you've ever been in this situation, because other men need to see they are not alone in this battle. Remember, these strong men are not toys to be played with. They are not tools to be used. They know when to stop running in circles, when to stop being the backup plan, when to stop being the emergency contact. They know when to walk away, and that is the moment they take their power back.